Hi, this is E.T. Let's chat a bit about, celebrities. I'm not talking about individuals who read lines from a script or perform music with high tech or orchestra backup or throw a ball or run real fast or people who are famous just for being famous. I'm talking about the real celebrity who improved living standards or did something else that had a positive and lasting significance. For example, this man, Professor Friedrich August Kummerow. He died June 1, 2017. He was 102 years old. This University of Illinois biochemist, for almost 3/4 of a century, led a campaign for healthier food that resulted in, according to other scientists, tens of thousands lives being extended each year. Stay with me to find out just what it was that Professor Kummerow knew, but what scientists and doctors should have known but didn't, that proved to be among the most important dietary changes of modern times. Here's how the story goes down. Dr. Kummerow, born Germany 1914 at the beginning of World War I, comes to the U.S. as a boy. His uncle gives him a present, a chemistry set, which led young Friedrich to gain interest in a subject that would affect the lives of millions of people worldwide. By the early 1950s, he observed while he worked at the University of Illinois how large numbers of people were dying of heart attacks, and thus he began the search for the cause. Now, Kummerow, while other so-called experts were blaming saturated fats, unhealthy lifestyles, and so on for the clogged arteries and heart attacks, Kummerow suspected another specific cause, and he tested his theory by feeding a particular manufactured food to pigs, all of which ended up with plaqued arteries. Kummerow was already fairly well known for doing some pretty big things during World War II. He participated in a Kansas University study and saved millions of dollars when frozen poultry was being shipped overseas but became rancid despite the cold. Well, Kummerow and his team solved the problem by feeding the poultry before it was killed and frozen more corn and less linseed. He was part of another study that ended a major health crisis, pellagra, that was affecting millions of people in the southern part of the U.S. What Kummerow and his team did was add niacin, vitamin B3, to processed corn, grits, and the pellagra epidemic ended. Well, you'd think that Kummerow's conclusion regarding the cause of heart disease would have been welcomed by establishment science and business and government agencies. Well, in fact, too many PhDs, government officials, food manufacturers were receiving recognition and grant money, promotions, and huge amounts of cash from the advertising, manufacture, and sale of that very thing that Professor Kummerow knew had to be eliminated from the American diet in order to stop the epidemic of cardiovascular disease. Opposition to Kummerow was so entrenched that even after his findings were acknowledged by the American Heart Association, the Chan School of Public Health at Harvard, and other groups, it would take over half a century after Kummerow's original research went public for the FDA, the Food and Drug Administration, to take action. In other words, for the FDA to take action and demand that the poison identified decades earlier took a lawsuit in 2013. It was initiated by Professor Kummerow and his growing number of allies to finally weaken the control that establishment scientists, government officials, and manufacturers had over the nation's premier regulatory agency, and to produce regulations that would make illegal the use of this poison in any food sold in the U.S. after June of 2018. Professor Friedrich Kummerow, at a ripe old age of 102, died exactly 1 year before that change went into effect. But he knew that it would prevent 90,000 premature deaths per year. What was this poison, identified by Professor Kummerow, promoted by scientists and government agencies for 3/4 of a century? It was trans fat. In other words, trans fatty acids, the kinds that raise LDL, the bad cholesterol, considered today, finally, by most doctors as the worst type of fat. It is a man-made creation, formed through an industrial process that adds hydrogen to vegetable oil. And it's been found in baked goods, cookies, cakes, crackers, what else? Pie crust, anything that uses shortening made from partially hydrogenated vegetable oil. Potato chips, corn chips, tortilla chips, microwave popcorn, any non-dairy coffee creamer, and of course margarine, which is about 100% trans fats. Well, since 2018, it's been outlawed in the U.S., but food with less than 0.5 grams of trans fat in one serving can, on their labels, read 0 grams trans fat. Now, considering that servings that are marked on the boxes or on the bags are seemingly getting smaller and smaller each year, this means that we can, by eating many servings, get what's probably too much trans fats in our diet. So what we need to do is look at the label of ingredients. If you see partially hydrogenated vegetable oil, figure out how much you're getting in each serving. Did our celebrity, Professor Friedrich Kummerow, survive all those years to 102 by eating greens and wheatgrass and sprouts and foods like that? No. He regularly ate, in moderate amounts, red meat and dairy. He preferred whole milk with the fat. And his favorite eggs were scrambled in real butter. And that's it. Did you like this video? Hit the like button. Do subscribe to this channel. Write in your comments below and tap the bell icon top right. You'll be notified of future videos. Thank you.